Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are. This is a Global Chamber Monthly Globinar AI series. And today we have a special guest, Jay Mobius. We are going to talk about AI and humanoid robots for the smart manufacturer. It's interesting topic, and let's see what we can find in this space. Let me introduce Jay Mobius. He's a founder and managing partner of Infinity Partners. Jens is a transformation leader with over decades of experience boosting profitability of transatlantic deep tech manufacturing companies by multiples. Clients range from NASA, Y Combinator sponsored startups to world-leading hidden champions to blue-chip Fortune 500 companies. At Airbus, he doubled profitability of a subsidiary and led restructuring of a aerostructure detailed parts supply chains to include Europe, India, and the US while securing savings of 30% of average. With Kemi, Jens contributed to winning the Best Consulting Award by Witchcraft Wash?
Wirtschaftswoche,
Business
German Business Magazine.
Magazine. Thank you very much for your help. He's an aerospace engineer, engineering manager by training, and an alumni of Delphi University of Technology, Dartmouth College, and Harvard Business School. Wow. Thank you very much for coming. And let me introduce my partner in crime, Jacob.
Yes. Hey, everyone.
Jacob.
Glad to be here. And yeah, no, I'm very excited for today's conversation. And this is something that, is very intriguing to me. And, it's we're on the edge of more closer to science fiction than we've ever been. And so it'll be really interesting to hear how what we have always seen in that sort of realm be applied to, manufacturing and global trade. So excited to hear the conversation today. And we're going to be cutting things a little bit short. And so we're going to be jumping right in to the conversation and presentation. But we'll hold some space afterwards, about 5-10 minutes for Global Chamber members to chat, introduce yourself, or ask any questions. But yeah, back to you, Yuka.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So thank you very much for coming, and please take the stage. Stage is yours, and please.
All right. I'm going to share here with sound, because we'll need the sound. Okay.
Is it working?
Okay. Do you see my screen?
Yes.
Excellent. Yeah. Hi, everyone. Good to be back with the Global Tribe. And thanks for organizing this, Yuka and Jacob and Jemima and Doug. I don't know if he's on as well, but to the whole crew. I'm Jay Mobius, founder and managing partner of Infinity Partners, as Yuka said. And today we'll focus on adoption of AI and humanoids for the smart manufacturer. For context, we're based in Denver and help transatlantic mid-market deep tech manufacturers improve their performance by multiples while leading tech available across the Atlantic. Often that's European companies with US subsidiaries. And for smaller companies, say in the tens of millions, that's typically commercialization. So we help them set up local presence and sell into large companies. We call that our transatlantic traction multiplier, or TTM, which is easy to remember because it rhymes with TTM, time to market. For larger mid-market companies, say in the hundreds of millions or low billions. We help them with business transformation, performance improvement, or turnaround, basically any change management. And we do that through program management or PMO, and call that our Transatlantic Performance Surge, or TPS, which is also easy to remember because it rhymes with TPS, Toyota Production System. Both scenarios are perfect use cases for AI and humanoid adoption. So TPS, we go in and do basically an X-ray of the organization and its main issues during due diligence. That's not rocket science. Everyone usually knows what the issues are, but it's about getting on the same page and clustering the issues in such a way that they can be tackled in a MECE set of 6 to 8 projects. MECE, that's mutually exclusive, cumulatively exhaustive, in case you're not familiar. And then we don't send in big consulting teams with a bunch of expensive juniors, but just 1 to 3 very experienced people with an owner mindset who can work with a leadership team to tackle the key initiatives. And what's always helpful is that our consultants are transatlantic, so they're Americans in the US and Europeans in Europe. And if you imagine any other scenario, there would likely be an issue on either side of the Atlantic. So if you bring in a team of German consultants to work with an American leadership team, that would likely come across kind of like an alien invasion. And if you bring in a team of US consultants, the leadership team at the headquarters in, say, Germany or Austria might wonder if they're entirely aligned with them. And this way, we avoid the whole dilemma by being both. Anyway, and then we drive the projects while working closely with the project leaders to troubleshoot any issues along the way. And in that context, we can often contribute valuable functional expertise. So that can be commercial excellence, operational optimization, or procurement and supply chain best practice. And this happens to be the perfect setup to drive AI adoption. And very soon, also humanoid robotics adoption. So AI and humanoid adoption is change management. For reference, we just boosted one of the world's leading fire truck manufacturers' profits by 250% in that way in 1 year. So we went from 8 million net income of that country's entity in 2023 to 20 million in 2024. And these numbers were recently confirmed by the client. And we take pride in that because we shoot for multiple improvements and not just incremental improvements. First of all, AI adoption is now an absolute imperative. And if you want to catch the next wave, better start implementing humanoids now as well. 1 year ago, I said to clients, this is the perfect time to adopt Gen AI. There's 1.5 years of best practice to leverage, and you're still ahead of the curve. Now, this has become more like a defensive argument. It's now an absolute imperative to adopt Gen AI to not miss the boat. By the way, 82% of your knowledge workers already use Gen AI anyway. So the question is just if you want to have a handle on this and channel it in the right direction safely, or if you want your free but leaky shadow IT, let's call it, take care of it. So there's really no upside not to tackle it. Humanoids are coming to a plant near you, and it should be your plant. Some of the following are customers of our clients, but I can't say which one. So let's start with this one here. Unlike my 6-year-old, humanoids now listen really well. Let me open this.
All right. Hey, Blue, listen. How about let's take them home? Let's finish this keynote. It's lunchtime. Are you ready? Let's finish it up. We have another announcement. You're good. You're good. Just stand right here. Stand right here. Stand right here. All right, good. Right there. That's good. All right, stand. Okay, we have another amazing news. I told you the progress of our robotics has been making enormous progress. And today we're announcing that Groot N1 is open sourced. Three AI infrastructures we're building: AI infrastructure for the cloud, AI infrastructure for enterprise, and AI infrastructure for robots.
All right. So you see, this was, by the way, the day before yesterday. So this is very recent. You see it moves pretty well. That was actually the point of the whole appearance, to demonstrate the physics engine. Now, this one here is Apptronic's Apollo at Mercedes-Benz's Digital Factory Campus in Berlin, and it helps with kitting by carrying heavy things around while doing quality inspection, and then goes ahead and helps with assembly too. Watch. By the way, can you hear the sound?
Yes, yes, we can.
Excellent. So the next one here, that's Boston Dynamics Atlas. This guy here is doing some calisthenics while thinking about what he wants to do on the shop floor. Let's watch this. Pretty neat, huh? But we've seen him sort things too. So he'll probably get to work soon, but he's definitely the jock among the humanoids. Now, last one, at BMW's Spartanburg, South Carolina facility, Figure 2 is autonomously placing sheet metal parts into fittings, and he's doing that ever faster and more reliably. Right, we could go on, but I think you get the idea. But it's not too late, and there's an opportunity now to leapfrog with AI agents and RPA, robotic process automation. And of course, to get into position to serve the humanoid wave before its, let's call it Sputnik or COVID or GPT moment hits. It's much more fun to be ready with your surfboard than playing catch up with a breaking wave. I only boogie boarded, but that brought it home for me. Of course, there's the spaceship dilemma to master. That's the thought experiment around the question, if you wanted to travel to Proxima Centauri, when should you leave? With current tech, it would take 6,300 years. And how much less time will it take in 10 years or 100 years? Especially when we start doing real physics again, right? It's the same with AI tool adoption. The moment you commit to implementing one generation of tools at a certain moment in time, it's obsolete pretty much the next day. But if you have to start somewhere and you have to build that muscle, again, change management is key. What's striking is the order of magnitude of productivity improvement from Gen AI, and even more so from humanoids. Both general purpose technologies, or GPTs, see what they did there? The steam engine started with productivity improvements of 20%, and look what that did. The world is now unrecognizable after the Industrial Revolution. Across studies, Gen AI brings at least, I've seen way higher number, but at least across studies, 25% productivity improvement. The latest from the section report with data from September of 2024. Now, humanoids come in at a cost capability of $10 per hour. Cost capability is what an hour of labor costs, considering purchase, cost of capital, maintenance, etc. And that will go down to $1 per hour by 2035, according to the latest Rethink X report. Now, the average manual labor hour rate in the US is $18 per hour. So that's starting with a 44% improvement, moving to a 94% improvement in a decade. Now, compare that with a steam engine versus Industrial Revolution cause-effect relationship, and buckle up. Okay, so if the why wasn't motivating enough to get moving, let's look at the how. This is fun. For all practical intents and purposes, everyone is a second or third grader in terms of Gen AI adoption. Okay, there's no 30-year expert or anything like that, right? It's someone with decades of experience. And school is just starting for humanoid adoption. So everyone's pretty much at zero. So it's easy to become leading edge if you want to. So wanting is the key word here. That's where the constraint is shifting towards in the humanoid era. What you can achieve used to be constrained by, say, the number of bodies you have available. That shifted to how much energy you have and at what cost in the Industrial Revolution, and that shifted to knowledge and know-how. Now that's shifting to ambition, entrepreneurship, and willpower. Again, wanting. Basically, imagine a miller in medieval France. It doesn't matter what he wants. His life is pretty much predetermined. The knowledge worker was told that he can be whatever he sets his mind to. That was only half truth. Now, the AI-powered The AI-powered entrepreneur can unleash the creation of solutions and their implementations almost at will. He's only limited by what he can imagine and how much he wants it. Now, when it comes to deploying Gen AI, it's important to not think of it as a traditional IT tool. Traditional IT tools are deterministic and they will keep their role. Gen AI is creative, and you're dealing with the famous jagged frontier, where you can't be quite sure up front what it's good at and what it isn't good at. That's constantly evolving on top of that. So you need to experiment. And as a result, traditional IT tool implementation is backloaded in implementation. First the process, then the tool. I don't know how often we repeated that, with clients who want some fancy new tool, and you almost have to really insist on being disciplined about optimizing the process first, because otherwise the tool can't help you. Now, for Gen AI, it's the exact opposite. Tool implementation is front-loaded. First the tool, then the process. Usually, when you start talking about strategy too soon, people's eyes roll over. But here, it happens to be very important to be clear on the strategy. Again, what you want as an organization before you start any of this. Because it's so experimental, you have to be crystal clear on what is a worthwhile use case and what isn't. Otherwise, you get lost in a million rabbit holes. Ideally, everyone in your organization should get training on basics and start using it. And besides the obvious safety considerations, you want to make sure that your teams are aligned with the company strategy and share best practices. Also, you want to infuse best practices and inform your teams about what's available and possible. So that way, they don't have to reinvent the wheel and can start experimenting on a high level. And that's where Gen AI and humanoid adoption best practice converges with change management best practice. This is a proven method that I picked up at Carney, or AT Carney as it used to be called back in the day. That's what we won the Best of Consulting Award of a business magazine with. And then we tweaked it further with best practice from Airbus and then several client engagements. And works especially well across functions, across organization levels, and across cultures. It gets you from A to B with precision and cohesion. There's a lot to it, but a key element of it is the regular alternating group meetings and one-on-ones. You want 6 to 8 clear initiatives. Those are the most important change efforts of your company. Each project is spearheaded by a leader in your organization, so not a project manager, but a leader becomes a project manager. It can be a functional head, plant manager, C-level executive. They all come together and create a couple of things. First of all, shared consciousness, as popularized by Special Forces Commander General Stanley McChrystal in his book Team of Teams. That way, input from all functions is reflected. That's very important to avoid blind spots. Second is propagation of best practice among project groups, and then, of course, accountability. Then, in the week between group meetings, we work through the issues side by side with the project leader and troubleshoot together. We can infuse best practice, whether Gen AI and robotics or functional expertise. And we found that 2 weeks between group meetings and 1 week between any meetings works pretty well. Now, what's out there? Let's start with knowledge work. It used to be there's an app for that. Now there's an AI for that. And the power lies in the combination of different tools. So, for example, you take Perplexity, Read Partner, Notebook LM, and HeyGen, and you have the perfect setup for internal trainings. Perplexity is the new way to Google. Read Partner summarizes your big documents. Notebook LM converts that information into bite-sized pieces. And then HeyGen lets a spokesperson convey your content. That one is pretty impressive, actually. You should check it out. I'm not affiliated, but I tried it out the other day and it was almost scary. Then you take Kling AI, Clay, Persona AI, and Storm, and you just boosted quality, speed, and efficiency of your sales and marketing. Kling AI adds photorealistic pictures to your collateral. Clay personalizes your outreach. Persona automates your sales process. And then Stanford's Storm backs up your white paper with research. It's pretty neat. Another example is you take DeepL, Spellbook, and the ITA chatbot, and you just save an incredible amount of time dealing with contracts and changing regulations. DeepL translates any language really well. Spellbook reviews your draft contracts, and the ITA chatbot, that's the International Trade Agency's new chatbot, gives you answers on the US export process. And then regarding automation, so you take Needle, Sana, Fernado, DryMerge, and Lindy, and you just made your company data useful, build custom apps and tools instead of Excel madness, and automated your workflows across these apps and tools. So Needle lets you look up data company-wide. Just imagine anyone in your organization can know what anyone else knows as long as it's stored somewhere. Sana turns your organization's knowledge into AI agents. And Fernado lets you build apps or websites real quick without code. So no more clunky spreadsheets for internal applications, but proper apps. DryMerge then automates those workflows across apps, and Lindy helps you build AI agents also without code. So final word on humanoids. Think of them when you need dexterity and adaptability. Think of it this way. If you have something that adaptable, your CapEx is no longer a sunk cost. So you can move quicker in taking these decisions. Second, when you're dealing with material handling, visual inspection, and assembly. And third, when you face adverse conditions, dangerous environments or tasks, or just labor shortage. Remember, right now, it's easy to become leading edge if you want to. Also, when all this gets scary, remember, these things are unfathomably intelligent, but you have someone on your side, God, who's infinitely intelligent. So you'll be okay. All right. Thank you for your attention. Yeah, feel free to reach out if you'd like me to send you this deck. I can also send you the full curated list of AI tools for the smart manufacturer. And of course, happy to jump on a call with you and discuss your situation and ambitions. Thanks again. Happy to take any questions.
Yeah,
Thank you very
incredible
much, Jay.
presentation.
Yeah.
And yeah, open it up. I know we're short on time, and so are there any questions for Jay about this? He said he'll send, if you contact him, he'll send the slides and the tools. But are there any questions about this incredible presentation?
Hey, this is Pankaj. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, here.
I am from GTC. Excellent presentation from Monday to today is my last day. We are going home. Next hour joining Quantum. So absolutely amazing. Caesar, if anyone is looking for funding, we can help. I gave my details. Too much background news here, so I am just mute myself, and I have to heading for quantum. Okay, thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah. And Jay, quick question. I said it in the chat, but was the open comment by NVIDIA's, was that sort of due to all of the advancements happening in China and competition? Do you think they were planning on making things open source?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, there's this battle raging, or it's one of these yeah, trade-offs that companies face, and one of these interesting things to watch of what is done open source versus not. And I'm not sure. It seems like uh, sometimes it's a powerful approach. Sometimes the closed systems are better. It's always the trade-off between with an open source approach. Yes, it's more transparent, and at the same time, everyone is basically everyone is then privy to that knowledge, right? And closed source, you know, if it's in the right hands, it can be a way to move quickly and keep that knowledge. What you hope is the right hands. And I know that, but that's always difficult. You know, what are the right hands? It's a very difficult trade-off.
Loaded question, right?
It was open source and was very successful. So what we're seeing a little bit is that it's somewhat commoditizing, and that's so intelligence is, and that's what we should probably, as the broader population, root for, because then the chances are better that we'll be in pretty good shape as a society if it doesn't commoditize, and then you're just smarter because you have more capital, then that's more difficult to solve. So yeah, I could go on, but it's a great question, and could be a very long discussion.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It seems like NVIDIA has chosen that approach, and it was obviously successful so far. We'll see where it lands overall. Maybe they keep coexisting in parallel. I don't know.
Interesting. Yeah, no, that's great. Yuka, yeah, and Jay, I know that
Yeah.
we're at time for you. So, any last
So-
thoughts? Any final thoughts?
Thank you very much for the great presentation. I just have an announcement from Barcelona where we have Industry 4.0 Congress that is happening next month. It is called Advanced Factories, and it's from 8th to 10th of April in Fira de Barcelona. And if you like this content, like robotics, smart factories, Industry 4.0, AI in the industry factories, please contact me. I have free tickets for members of the Global Chamber. Otherwise, I can provide discount ticket as well. So thank you very, very much. And
Awesome.
Jacob?
Yeah. Any final thoughts, Jay, before you leave?
Bye. Take care.
Yeah. No, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. So see you, everybody.
Bye. See you.
Bye.
Have a great. Yeah, and yeah, since it is a little short, if there are any questions by anyone that's still here, we can forward them on to Jens, or he left his email, and so please write that down and get in contact with him, because he like he said, he can be a great resource and can really set you on a path where you're well ahead of the curve. So definitely lean in to that. And I mean, you saw the evidence of those robots that he showed that, you know, see where it is now and in 10 years. So let's start now. But thank you all very much for coming, and we'll see you next month.
You.